This is Danny Flexent here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Viddal Riley. Viddal, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
You always get asked how you are. No one ever asked the interviewers how they're doing, so I like to ask.
I genuinely care how you are, and I hope you genuinely care how I am. But moving on from the pleasantries, you've signed, obviously, recently with Sky Sports. Just tell us what fed into that decision and how it all came together.
Boxer, they understand the sport is changing. The world is changing. Nothing stays the same. And we're now in a day and age where people have seen that having a social media platform can propel your career. We've seen it. I feel like I started it with KSI back in 2018, showing people that if you have followers, it don't matter about your experience. As long as you get people to care, it can be a big thing. And I'm not as big as KSI, but I managed to get a bit of a following from that and keep the people with me. I had a traditional boxing career from a long time ago as an amateur. I achieved many things, national title, captain England, etc. And now I can use that following in the traditional world to bring you, some exciting fights, to get the people involved, and people are already invested in me as a brand. So now it's just getting them invested in the boxing side of things. Boxer accept that, and they're willing to help me do that. And obviously Sky Sports being one of the biggest sporting platforms in the world, they know how to grow athletes from one stage to superstardom. And I believe that with me already bringing something to the table, they're going to complete the job and really take me to that next level.
How much of an advantage was it for you to have that link up with KSI? Because as you've explained, you're already an accomplished boxer, but it's brought you to a whole different audience.
Yeah, it really flipped the script on my career. I really thought that I was aiming for the 2020 Olympics. I ended up being in 2021, but that was my aim. I didn't expect to get any following or be able to make a living for myself this early from social media. But that's exactly what happened. I managed to build something that allows me to make a living, allows me to have a lot of interest in what I'm doing, but it doesn't take my talent away, it doesn't take my achievements away, it doesn't take my ability to fight away. It just allows more people to see it, and I've found a great home and destination to do that, and I can't wait to just get back in the ring and show people I am a boxer. Don't get me confused with everyone else. Just because I was around them and in that community, my skill set remains leaps and bounds above.
So, greater activity, which will come as a result of this deal. What will we see from you that perhaps we haven't seen before, because your career's been quite sporadic?
We're going to see more consistency in terms of me being in the ring. Definitely want to be in the ring a lot more often. And I want people to see the improvements. I want people to see a difference between my last performance in February 2020 and my performances coming up. For me, it's all about knowing what level I am. You know what level you are by winning the Southern area, the English, the British. Allows you to gauge where you are. A lot of people skip past the levels these days because they can, and they get found out later on. If anyone beats me, it's because they were better on that day, not because I'm inexperienced, not because I don't want to use that as a crutch. Oh, is it a bit early? Is it a bit too soon? No, learn the trade, and when you get to that level, people should believe that you can compete at that level. And that's the way that I want to approach things. I'm 24 years old. I've got a lot of competition in my weight that are older than me, and they're not really my competition at this point. I have to do some things before I can start talking on those guys. And I think that's only right. It's quite arrogant to be out for 2 years, only have 4 fights, and then say that Lawrence Okoli, Richard Riakpo, and Chris Billiam-Smith are my competition. These guys are British Commonwealth European champions, fighting for WBC silver title. One's WBO world champion. They're not my level. They're just the same weight as me. When I can prove that I'm the same level as them, hopefully they're still around, and then we can get those fights on.
When will we see you make your Sky Sports debut?
Man, I want to make it as soon as possible, hopefully before the end of the year. The plan is to try and get in the ring before the end of the year, just to round it off nicely. It's been a difficult year coordinating things behind the scenes. It would be nice to finish with a performance in December. But if we can't get out in December, then we'll be out definitely early next year.
You mentioned the likes of Riakporhe and Okoli, but we saw a new addition to the cruiserweight scene just yesterday with Canelo Alvarez targeting Ilunga Makabu for the WBC title. What did you make of that?
It was surprising. I did expect him to do a jump to 175, not completely skip it out and go to 200. But I guess he's a man, he can do what he wants, man. Canelo is the face of boxing right now. He's a great boxer, and he's got the ability to free roam through the sport and pick wherever he decides to be. It will be interesting to see if he can handle the power and the size of the cruiserweight division. But he's not taking on the whole division. I guess he's taking on Makabu. I don't think he will stay at cruiserweight. That's my prediction. I think he will come up, hopefully pick up the belt like he did against Kovalev in light heavy, and then drop back down. I can't see him staying at cruiser, but I think he just needs challenges. You know, once you get to Canelo's level, you become undisputed champion in 11 months. You need a challenge. You need something that makes you get up and run and makes you train hard, as hard as you was before achieving that goal. And I think cruiserweight is such a big jump and such a wow, everyone's on the edge of their seats, that sort of thing is the only thing that can motivate him at this point.
Now, the kind of buzz that yourself and KSI began, as a lot of other people have now taken the ball and run with it, most notably Jake Paul, who will be taking on Tommy Fury, who's got a similar sort of background as you, albeit not competing very often as an amateur, but been in boxing from a very young age. What do you make of their clash? It's kind of two different worlds colliding.
Two different worlds colliding, but I don't think Tommy is the best we have to offer from this world, from the boxing world. You know, there's people that are 7-0 that you say, oh my gosh, he's going to be a world champion. There's people 7-0 that you say needs more time to progress, and Tommy is in that category, which is why he's a good fight for Jake. If Tommy was a 7-0 fighter that we think, okay, this guy is the next world champion, Jake probably wouldn't fight him. But because we know Tommy needs that time, and he hasn't really shown to be a devastating prospect, Jake feels like, yeah, I'm going to pick on you, and it's a very good fight. It's probably the best fight that either guy could have at this time. Tommy needs to shut Jake up. Jake wants to prove I can beat an actual pro boxer, and skill-wise, they are pretty even. They are pretty level, and I know it's quite, some people find that controversial, but it's just my opinion. It only means as much as you make it mean to you. But I honestly think it's a 50-50 fight. I think Jake wins either by early KO or a controversial points win. That's what I think.
I didn't even have to press you for a prediction. I love it.
No, I don't sit on the fence. I don't sit on the fence. But we're here, so we're talking.
You're obviously very intelligent, analytical, you're a great talker. Is there an opportunity perhaps with this Sky and Boxer deal that you could do some punditry works and presenting stuff alongside the active boxing?
So I already got my live stream that I do with Boxer and Sky Sports. So not every time, but when they have shows on, I'll have my own live stream where I bring in different guests and watch the fights, offer my commentary alongside it. So they already allowed me to have a punditry analytical platform of my own to build, and I feel like that will only build as I get more active in the ring, because then people will validate my word more. I'm very grateful and fortunate that people care about what I say, because it allows me to keep my brand going. But I feel like to really propel that to the next stage requires me to be in the ring and active, and that's exactly what I want to do, and that obviously increases the chances of me getting more pundit opportunities.
Now, before I let you go, it almost seems redundant at this point, but please do drop your socials and let people know where they can find you. I'm sure they already follow you, but still.
If you want to find the realest, then it's Is It Real on Instagram, ISITRIL, same on Twitter. If you want to see what I'm chatting about on YouTube, then it's just my name, Viddal. And if you want to hear some boxing and you want to hear about combat, then I've got another channel called Ruin Wheels.
Great stuff. Really appreciate your time, and look forward to your debut.
Thank you.